Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Mishal Saeed, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Shiny Burcu Unsal, the founder and CEO of the Academy of Neuroscience Technology, joining us. Shiny is an ICF Master Certified Coach, NLP Master Trainer, and author of Believe in You, whose neuroscience technology has trained over 100 coaches worldwide, blending neuroscience, NLP, and quantum physics to create shiny minds. From Harvard Business School to global stages, she's revolutionizing leadership and coaching. We'll explore her founding story, how her academy empowers coaches, and her vision for scaling this transformative business. So let's dive in. Shiny, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And it is a pleasure to be here. My Turkish name for everybody, it's not Burcu, it's actually Burcu. It's a Turkish name. And that's why the spelling is a little bit different. The C is a J in Turkish. It's Burcu. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I went to Turkey last year and I loved every bit of it. Love to hear it.
Yeah, it's quite a place to go visit. And also another correction, the name of my book is actually You Are a Star Shine. So I am the author of You Are a Star Shine.
Okay.
Believing You is the former name of the Academy of Neuroscience Technology.
Love that. Love that. Look at Shiny already giving us all of the game, all of that insight. Let- Let's kick things off for our listeners now. Take us back to the beginning, Shiny. Like, what
Yep.
specific problem in the coaching or the leadership landscape, perhaps around mindset or conscious leadership, inspired you to start the Academy of Neuroscience Technology?
Absolutely. My story begins with me being my own first client. I needed this. My background is marketing and advertising from 2000 to 2010. Yeah, that decade. Yeah, I'm young. So from 2000 to 2010, I am in the world of marketing, advertising, working with global brands, Fortune 500 companies, and managing millions of dollars of campaigns. And it's a very fast-paced environment. I love it. I get to travel. I manage teams in 7 countries and like people, like over 100 people I manage, I get to work with. And then there is still something missing inside. Like I'm
Mm.
crushing it. Everybody wants to live my life in Istanbul. And still something is missing inside. I'm not fully fulfilled. And this voice inside of me, I'm getting goosebumps. This voice says, hey, there is a bigger potential in you.
Mm.
There is that bigger potential. I didn't know what it was. I just listened to
Mm.
the voice. So I can already speak to the audience. I am pretty sure there are so many of them right now.
Mm.
Perhaps they are listening to, or perhaps they are now beginning to hear to that voice within,
Yeah.
that voice that is saying, hey, you can do something else with your life. You can actually create a bigger impact. And then there's a bigger potential that you can tap into. So I'm talking to you. All right. Whoever is feeling that. That is where my story begins in 2010. And then I go search for it. I was always into personal development since I was a little girl, reading
Mm.
books, searching about myself. And what I did was very spiritual at the beginning. I did a past life regression session. And so that was very deep and that was awakening.
Mm.
When I woke up from that session, I really truly woke up. So that was my awakening. And after that, I also went to a formal NLP certificate training, a 7 day long training, where then I was able to combine spirituality and science. And something shifted in me. Nobody could stop me. I was unstoppable. I was determined and committed and convicted. That voice in my head or in my heart was super loud and I was going to listen to it. So with that, in 2010, I burned my boats and then
Mm.
I traveled, moved all the way across the world from Istanbul to Los Angeles, California. I just wanted to dive deeper, searching for my truth. And that's where my story began. I needed my neuroscience technology.
Mm.
When I learned more from Dr. Richard Bandler. I did so many NLP trainings with him, and I even assisted him giving the NLP practitioner and master practitioner certificate trainings. I discovered Tony Robbins, Mr. Tony Robbins. I actually learned from him. I had many breakthroughs with him in 2011.
Mm,
I changed the way that I thought, the way that I was eat, the way that I connect to myself, to the world around me. I wanted to also study spirituality. So I did Kabbalah. I went to Los Angeles Kabbalah Center. I
mm,
studied Buddhism, esoteric findings, whatever I could find. I was searching. I was hungry, just like Les Brown. And then I did so many other disciplines. And then I actually became a part of UCLA Extension as a faculty early on in 2012. And then I started studying neuroscience as part of the Mindsight Institute at UCLA. And then I started learning more about the brain waves and then how it connects to our thoughts and how it shapes our reality, and how what I was learning from neurolinguistic programming and Tony Robbins was actually putting itself together on a very solid scientific background foundation. And
yeah.
I was building science and spirituality all together until I created and named it Neuroshine Technology. So that's
Mm.
the story.
Wow, incredible. My jaw is dropped right now because I can see almost like this very naturalistic progression from marketing to advertising and really finding your way with unleashing more of what that potential is and listening to that inner voice, which I know some of our listeners tuning in, they disregard and they probably don't. And then they end up thinking 10 years later down the line, why didn't I actually take that action? We have a lot of entrepreneurs out there in the world. That was just a mic drop right now. And I love these rockets. Let's get into the nuts and bolts now for our listeners, Shiny, even potential clients that are tuning in. Walk us through how the Academy generates revenue today. What's your core offering, such as some of the certifications, executive coaching? How do you structure what you do for your clients? And what are some of the outcomes that clients can expect after working with you?
All right. So there are like 3, 4 questions in one question. So let me start. And then if I am not complete, you can tell me what I'm missing. Okay.
Sure.
So my core offer at the Academy of Neuroshine Technology today is my Neuroshine Technology Level 1 and Level 2 ICF, ACC, and PCC credential paths coaching certification programs. So as you see on the back of my wall, I have the ICF MCC credential, meaning Master Certified Coach, meaning I have done more than 3,000 hours of coaching since 2010. And because of that, I created my business around developing coaches, teaching them mindset, teaching them leadership skills that I bring, teaching them the coaching skills as gold standards from the ICF. And that is the most fulfilling thing I ever do. And then that's what I was telling you before we started to record.
Mm,
It's just so fulfilling to have my days filled with teaching and sharing my knowledge and my expertise to empower and inspire others to achieve their freedom, their fulfillment based on their terms with their own coaching business. So I'm actually a business mentor for coaches, and
mm,
I am also a coach educator with ICF accreditation. And I am super proud that my programs are not only accredited by the International Coaching Federation, but I personally received a runner-up award from the ICF as a distinguished coach educator. So I'm
wow.
super proud to mention that as well. And then they only give it to the educators who are ethically and technologically advanced, because I have, as part of my academy, I have my Neuroshine Technology app, I have my Dr. Shiny AI. They can actually go get their one-on-one coaching from my Dr. Shiny AI coach. They can keep learning 24/7. So I bring a lot of innovation and support in the year of 2025 that we live in, so everybody can benefit from my offers. Did I answer all your questions or am I
Yeah,
missing?
So from what it sounds like, you're doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. That is like the main core offer from what.
No, no, I'm not doing any one-on-one coaching anymore. I am teaching coaching. I'm buying coaches.
Love that. So it's a certification program, and that's really the main focus. And that's what you're looking to also scale. Now, your LinkedIn presence is vibrant, and you've done a ton of global speaking. Tell us a little bit about client acquisition. How are you getting in front of your audience right now? Which channels, whether it's like LinkedIn, referrals from your network, what's been the most effective for enrolling students into your certification program?
It's a combination of all of the above. There's not like one channel that I can tell this is the best. What
Mhm.
I can tell you is people find me. So that is my different way of doing business because I have been in business for more than 15 years now. And word of mouth is a real thing and it accumulates. And if you really do a great job, I have certified coaches all around the world in like more than 50 countries, and then they keep talking to each other, and then some of them actually graduates, and then the other one just joins, and oh, I saw Dipti was in your program and I was in the same Stanford business school with her, and then they talk about it, and then it just becomes a reputation in time. So that's why it is very important to do great job, an excellent job, excellent exceptional job when I deliver my cohorts, when I teach coaching, NLP mindset tools and strategies, which are absolutely phenomenal, useful tools in coaching. And my graduates, they end up becoming coaches, consultants, facilitators, keynote speakers, authors, podcasters. They have a wide range of creativity and content development that they do. And that's why, as part of my core offering, every channel, LinkedIn, Instagram, actually, ICF itself is also a very useful channel for me because now in today's world, when people look up, hey, I want to become a certified coach, ICF pops up. And when they go to ICF, ICF has a search engine,
Mm.
educational search service. And then when they look up for specific niche, for example, business coaching, leadership
Yeah.
coaching, executive coaching, spirituality coaching, life coaching, then my Academy of Neuroscience Technology is going to pop up. And then
Mm.
I'm going to be offering them because I combine science and spirituality.
Mm.
I have two doctorate degrees in metaphysics. And at the same time, I'm a super scientific NLP neuroscience person with a left brain. So when I combine both, I can offer everything. And then when they search online, doesn't matter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google, ICF, they find me. And then, of course, there's word of mouth and the reputation that I told you about.
Mm. Love that. So from what it looks like, you've pretty much created like this positive feedback loop essentially where, your program itself is and your network being a part of ICF is generating a lot of those leads for you and then also word of mouth and referrals and you're leveraging a lot of that to create that flywheel, which is like phenomenal. Now, on that note, I'd love to learn more about some of your approaches to sales, being in the NLP space. What strategies have been the most effective in converting some of the leads into actual long-term clients for certification? Are you leveraging a lot of your own tactics? Tell us about what that looks like. And are you doing this on your own, or do you have a team in place that's also involved in the conversion aspect?
When it comes to answering that question, obviously, because I started with NLP and neurolinguistic programming is one of the most powerful mindset technologies ever, thanks to Dr. Richard Bandler. I started using tactics per se,
Mm.
but that was just so back in the day when I was new. So when you're new, you do things. And then in time, you become those things.
Mm.
So then you don't do those things anymore. There's nothing that you like quote unquote do because you are that. For example, I'm going to talk to you about the power of building rapport
Mm.
and trust building. That was a technique. That was an NLP technique. And
Mm.
By doing it again and again, and repetition is the queen of every skill, I have become it. So I don't do that. Now I am that person. So the way that I connect to my potential clients is being authentic. That's my biggest tool, or a technique, if it is a technique. It's not a technique. And then that's exactly how I also teach. As part of my Neuroscience Technology Coaching Certification Program, I am also teaching the coaching business school how they can actually talk to their potential clients, how they can create their personal branding, their online presence, their website, their irresistible offers, and then how they can create a landing page with everything. So when I share my knowledge, that's what I tell them. You got to be authentic. Nothing that you do is going to stick. It's just going to like evaporate. So you need to be truthful, because Neuroscience technology is a technology for truth. So it is all about being truthful. And that's why there is nothing that I do today that is really techniquey,
Yeah.
because I have been in the field, in the market for long enough, and I have my reputation. I have 100% satisfaction score. That's
Mm.
exceptional.
Mm.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah, there's that power of leveraging social proof at the end of the day and letting your results almost sell for themselves rather than having to reinvent the wheel and have all these conversations that almost seem transactional rather than just providing the value and really authentically listening into what your prospect comes to you with, what those problems are, and being very active with that listening component, right, which is very much missed across so many verticals. Now, going back to some of the things you're doing with referrals and word of mouth, other founders, they do come on here and they express and they say, hey, it's a lot of referrals and it's probably not the most scalable way to generate leads or not consistent. Have you found that to be the case as well? And if so, how have you navigated through that?
Referrals, of course, is just not going to be reliable, because you are now depending on a person's mood
Mm.
or opportunities or luck.
Yeah.
So that's guesswork, totally. And although it is guesswork and although it is not consistent, it is one of the most inconsistent consistencies you can create as
Mm.
part of your sales and business development system. Because without the referrals, without the word of mouth, then that just means that you're not really making your clients excited enough
Mm.
to talk about your offer. If
Mm.
they are super happy and is super transformed and super in love with your offer and working with you, they can't stop talking about you.
Mm.
They so that's why, although it is not consistent, oh my God, 10 clients every month, it's not going to be like that. But
Yeah.
if you do a great job, for example, I helps right now more than 2,000 individuals around the world.
Mm.
So if all of them are here and there are talking about me and my business and referring people to me here and there, even just like once a year, that's a great business. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So in terms of what they said, of course, word of mouth and referral is not very scalable because it's not under your control.
Mm.
So what they need to do is focus on what is in their control. What is in their control is to have incentives and have some sort of relationship building with their graduates or clients to keep those referrals active. It's
Mm.
always the person, it's always the business owner who can do something about it. And then there is always a way to not only rely on one channel and
Mm.
also be everywhere. So today, if you look at my social media presence, I'm everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn page as well, not only the profile, but the page. I am on Instagram and I also have an Instagram page. I
Mm.
am on Facebook and then a Facebook page. I have a YouTube show and then I have a podcast. Like I'm everywhere. And
Mm.
that's why one channel is never going to complete the full picture. You want to be everywhere where people listen. I'm even on Pinterest. So
Totally
we got
underrated.
to have a variety.
Yeah, yeah. The consistency component is so important because, a lot of founders, they figure out what's going to be like that that golden channel that's going to generate them all the leads in the world or get them like the most refined ICP. But what happens is there's like a lack of process or inconsistency with doing that over and over again. And then also varying that across other platforms as well.
Yeah.
So much noise online. So I love the fact that you're out there, you're cutting through it, you're having an in-your-face approach, but in the most like graceful way to where it's like, hey, let me get out there, let me be authentic and keep that reputable and consistent. So from what it sounds like, the growth has been incredible with your cohorts and the certification program launching and really just like your subject matter expertise over the last few years and even now. What's one challenge that stands out, a bottleneck? What would it be more for our listeners that are trying to find their footing as well as they start their ventures? If you can share, is it scaling the program, the fulfillment, sales, marketing? What are you most focused on solving to keep all of the momentum going?
I always focus on my offer. I am obsessed with delivering exceptional service. I'm obsessed with it. Nobody can stop me trying to do a better job. No one. And I will never, ever stop. So that is one thing that I encourage all the founders out there. Perhaps we are trying to solve the wrong problem. Perhaps the problem of not being able to scale is not because of your reach, your lead generation, or your channel whatsoever. Perhaps it is in your offer. Perhaps your offer is not enticing enough. Perhaps it is not irresistible enough. Perhaps you don't have enough raving fans. Perhaps they are not like crazy about the service or the product that you provide. So if you really solve that problem, I think everything is going to figure itself out because we're going to have universe partnering with us. That is my metaphysical part. Look at Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So the Prime, like Amazon and a Prime membership, like ordering things online on Amazon, like how incredibly exceptional that service is. Can you really have any inconsistencies or any challenges to scale that business? No, I don't think so. Because the offer and the service is exceptional. Everybody is going to do something to do something about it. And that's why my focus is always my offer.
So from what it sounds like, and just to more or less confirm for the audience, you're really focused on refining the offer, and that's where you're seeing, hey, if I can figure this out, I get to the next level. When did you realize that offer refinement was going to be the approach to take with really unlocking the next level with where you want to take the business? When did that thought occur to you?
It actually came to me intuitively when I stepped into my NLP training with Dr. Richard Bandler in the year of 2011. I knew it intuitively. I'm Pisces, I'm metaphysical, I'm spiritual. Get information from the fields, I become one with it. And so when I stepped into that room, when I met that genius, that person, the co-founder of neurolinguistic programming, Dr. Richard Bandler, when my mind was blown away, hear what I'm saying. My mind was blown away. Why? Because of what he created. The product, the service, the offer was absolutely mind-blowing. That day, I remember telling myself, one day I'm going to create my own, and that will be my legacy. I figured it out that day. I knew it. I knew it that then. And that's why, that's Mishal, how after 14, 15 years, I can strongly, confidently tell you that I have 100% happiness and satisfaction score rate. Like, how can I do that in 14, 15 years? Is there just not one person? No. Okay. So that conviction, it just really was born out of me. And then I listened to it. I'm super intuitive. And that's what I'm also going to leave with the audience. Like, tap into your inner wisdom. That is where your answers always are going to be waiting for you. And that is going to be your unmatched, exceptional edge.
Love that. Yeah, it's the voice inside, and it's sometimes, so many of us don't tap into that. We look for the
Yeah.
end on the outside into the entropy. A lot of that entropy is here from within.
Yeah,
I love that,
exactly.
you
Exactly.
And it doesn't cost anyone anything either to listen to yourself, trust your own self-worth, and you'll be very surprised where your soul will take the physical, which is your body.
Yes. And I'm going to put it in this perspective there. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to cost you a few things, but all positive things. For example, it's going to cost you cutting cords with negative voices around you that you should have already cut like
Yeah.
years ago.
Mm.
It's going to cost you some of the old patterns that you will need to let go of. For example, addictions. I'm
Mm.
not talking about like food addictions or any addiction. I'm talking about emotional addictions, like distractions and scrolling and then asking people, oh, should I do this? What should I do? Oh, everybody's doing this. Oh, I should do this. Those are addictions.
Mm.
And it's going to cost you those.
Yeah.
Tapping into your inner wisdom, what I teach as part of my Neuroscience technology is what I call OPOs, other people's opinions. So it's going
Mm.
to cost you letting go of all the OPOs
Mm.
that you are listening to right now, and then you're just allowing them to clutter your
Mm.
beautiful, shiny mind. And
Mm.
that's why I'm shiny. It represents enlightenment. And that's why I was telling you, I
Yeah.
legally changed my name in 2015 to
Mm.
represent this enlightenment, this awakening, this truth,
Yeah.
this like inner wisdom, so that I own it. And I need to become an example for everybody that I work with. If I am not the example of a shiny mind, who am I
Mm.
to teach?
Yeah.
And so that's why it takes a lot of growth.
Oh, absolutely. With everything you've accomplished, training over 1,000 coaches, like launching new cohorts, I'd love to hear about what's next. What does that vision look like for the new future? What's top of mind for growing the academy in 2025?
I love these conversations. I am already working one step at a time for the vision that I have. I always also had the vision of having my own faculty and my own Neuroscience technology trainers. I've always had that in my heart. I would look at the world map and then I
Mhm.
would see in every major country, I want to have a trainer that they're going to teach my Neuroscience technology. And we're going to turn this world into a better, brighter place together by co creating enlightenment and deep transformation for people. And right now, Michelle, I can tell you, I have United States in Florida, California, New York, Boston area, 4 amazing, delicious US trainers covering US. I have another trainer in Germany. I have another one in Istanbul, taking care of my Turkish roots. I have another one in Russia, definitely coming to that part of the world. I have another US trainer, but she lives in Cambodia. So Asia is under control as well. And then I have a new one coming in from South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
it's happening. And we have this full faculty of, oh, and then I have another one coming in India, also
Mm.
covering India. My vision is happening, working step by step, because again, I signed up for it and I listened to the universe, the voice within me, and the universe partners up with me.
Mm.
And that's how it works. It's beautiful.
I love that. Now, you have some big plans in place for really creating your own faculty and bringing this on a more globalized scale. Let's get a bit hypothetical here because, as you said, I'm also loving this conversation and your passion for really conscious leadership and development. Shiny, if you had a genie in the room, you rub the lamp, and now you have all these unlimited resources, what would you implement immediately to accelerate the Academy's growth today?
When you asked that question, my mind went to a global answer. May I start with that instead of my faculty, my academy? If I had a genie in a bottle, I would want enlightenment for our world, for our humanity, like consciousness, conscious awareness, and conscious communication, conscious leadership. That's why I studied consciousness and wrote 2 different dissertations about it. I want to live in a more conscious world, and that would be my genie in a bottle wish. And that's why I do what I do every single day. And now back to your question for my academy, what would I want? I would want them to feel the joy, the fulfillment, and the growth that comes with teaching, that comes with being a part of this movement. I say movement. I want them to feel it every single day, every single moment, not only when they teach, not only when they coach, not only when they do something, but every single day, every single moment. So it becomes an energy field, a frequency that they carry with themselves. So that going back to the earlier conversation, it's not something that they would need to do,
Mm.
but instead they would become it.
Mm. Love that. Yeah, no, it's the whole manifestation aspect of it and listening again to that inner wisdom, as you best put it. One more question before we hit the lightning round. How do you see the coaching and leadership development industry evolving in the coming years, especially with your focus on AI integration, coupling that with neuroscience? How is Academy positioning itself for that type of future?
We are actually ahead with a lot of innovation that we already integrated. So I'm proud to say that because we are actually providing services with our AI prompts. And like I mentioned with my Dr. Shiny AI coach and the app and the digital library and all that. So all of our students are super happy. They feel super supported. And then they are not only becoming certified coaches, but they are becoming resourceful individuals, resourceful leaders. Because coaching is leading, as you know very well. And our industry, the coaching and leadership development industry, is all about personal growth. It's an inner work. It's so inside of you. You have this whole planet, this whole universe inside of you. And so the way that we do business is absolutely already AI powered and it's already app included, digital library included. Like we are providing AI prompts, we're providing templates, copy paste, like everything is ready. So people, they just need to show up with commitment and willingness. That's part of my formula for change, awareness multiplied by willingness. We bring you all the awareness as long as you bring the willingness. And that way you not create the change you want.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, you've streamlined the delivery process really for clients, and you're coupling that with generative AI. And I think that is super marketable across so many different verticals. And it's so exciting to see where you're going with this.
Thank
Now, just out of curiosity, Shiny, what's currently preventing you from scaling faster? More for the listeners that want to hear more about some of the things you're seeing in your day to day. Is it sales capacity, finding someone else like yourself to have these conversations with someone who comes through your network, market awareness, fulfillment bandwidth? What are you focused on solving and how are you tackling maybe some of those challenges right now?
Interesting the way that you asked me that question. I am so in the flow. I just dance with life. And I believe my growth process is, it could be very slow. It could be very turtle-ish, turtle-like for a lot of other businesses. But for me, it's my truth and it's completely aligned with me. And that's why I don't see it as a burden or a challenge or obstacle. But to answer your question specifically, of course, my biggest wish would be to duplicate myself, not only as an AI version of me. I think I need a robot. I think I need like a shiny robot
Oh, yeah.
looking exactly like me and talking exactly like me because I love those conversations. I love meeting a stranger and then turning them into an empowered, most delicious version of themselves after they go through my training. I love the process of seeing it. Oh my God, this person where I took them. And 15 weeks later, because 11 weeks is the coaching certification, and then another 4 weeks for the business school.
Yeah.
15 weeks, they're completely transformed. There are some other people, they're telling me, oh, I thought I was just going to figure out if I can just learn this coaching thing. But a businesswoman is just emerging out of me. So I see so many transformations. I love that. And I really wish that there would be another me having those conversations, those like one-on-one discovery calls, sales conversations. But I feel like I still want to do those things because I love those.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't leave the game, but you have to be in it so that you can also maneuver and change your strategy and understand, hey, how do we evolve this offer? Because if you don't, then what's the point? But I love that you're so conscious about it as well, because I know for some of our listeners tuning in, they're going through those same battles. They're trying to figure out as well, hey, how do I get another me in the room, as you said it? Another shiny who's like a clone or robot can do exactly what she does so impeccably for her clientele. So I love the fact you shared it because it's relatedness, and that's what this episode's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, like on one last note, what's like the best piece of advice you've received about scaling in general a coaching business, perhaps from an ICF mentor, your own network at Harvard? What would you say to the listeners just on one final note?
The best advice I received scaling my business. I had a mentor, I had a business mentor when I was living in Los Angeles. I moved to Miami in 2020 with the pandemic, but when I was living in LA, he was my business mentor for years, for almost like 4 or 5 years. And he said, business is the game. It's
Mm,
a game. And of course, Tony Robbins also talks about that a lot.
yeah.
He says, business is a spiritual game, but my mentor was with me every day, like whenever we were working together on my business. So he was with me right next to me. And then I would pick his brain and then he would say, listen, you can do anything you want. This is your
Mm,
business. If you say this is the value of your company, then it's going to be the value of your company.
mm,
Like, this is it. Like, you set the tone. You
yeah.
decide what you want to do with it. And then that was just mind boggling for me.
Mm,
And that was in terms of scaling, in terms of foundational stuff about my business, that was the biggest advice. And then I also want to honor one more person because we're talking about mentors right now.
mm,
He was more of a personal slash business also advice.
mm,
Rest in peace. Like, he passed away, but when I first came to United States, like I shared my story with you from LA, from Istanbul to LA, I met him in LA and then he supported me so much. And then he made me believe that there are very good-hearted angel souls in this lifetime. And then we should never ever forget that. He taught me that. This is
mm,
not a business scaling advice, or it's not about lead generation and whatnot, but this is more about who we really are. Hey, remember, you are a human being, and then we are not separate. We are one. We just need to support each other, and then we need to just show up for each other. We are not here to fight. We are here to collaborate. And then he was such a big reminder of that for me. I was blown away. Wow, this is America. And then there are people who actually can help me, that they will care about me. And that was, yeah, that was actually a bit bigger, better, and deeper advice, and some like golden nuggets that I took to my heart.
I love that. Oh my gosh. My eyes are tearing up because it's emotional too, and it speaks on a human to human level every single day. I'm so excited for your runway going into this year and everything that you're building with the faculty on a global scale. It's so exciting. You absolutely need another one of yourself. And I want to hopefully after we're done here. But on that note, that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Shiny, thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey and insights with us today, from
A pleasure.
Istanbul to Los Angeles, from really just at the end, you're founding an academy of really brilliant leaders. You're developing people, and you're creating a better world and creating better impact for the humanity, as you spoke about. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Send Shiny some hearts, reach out to her on LinkedIn, and she'll give you a shout back. And you can also find some more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class sales systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you all on the next one.